And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy here.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Richter, Arnold, okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. oh God! And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes.
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when it's
try
time,
this with you.
when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Each words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Yes. Woo! Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a marvelous Monday. I hope you had a fantastic 4th of July weekend, if you were actually celebrating it. Some of us weren't. But if you were out there shooting off fireworks and having a good old time, barbecuing and everything, I hope you guys had a fantastic and productive and safe 4th of July weekend. Mine was very epic. There was a lot of stuff that went on this weekend in my neck of the woods. But I am thankful that everyone's okay. I'm thankful that I still got to be around family and friends and do what I needed to do as a member of this family. I'll just say that for the best way I can say it without getting into too much detail. But I'm very thankful that there are people here still with us on this planet. Forget it. Shelly, I'm very happy that you're safe and that you're doing well. Just straight out, because I know she watches this show from time to time. Maybe she's watching it right now. So, Shelly, hopefully you're doing well in the hospital and taking care of yourself. So, but anyway, it's been a very epic weekend for me. Aside from hearing about Kanye West announcing that he's running for president, which we'll be talking about here very shortly, there was just a little bit of a family emergency that happened over this weekend. Actually, right after the show on Friday, some things went down. We had to run to the hospital and, join together as a family and pray over a loved one. And she is doing fine now. Which I'm very, very thankful for. But like I said, you just never know when life throws you a curveball, or life shows you how important life is and how delicate and how quickly life can be hanging at a balance. You know what I mean? So I'm very thankful that everyone's okay. And we were able to barbecue. We were able to do our thing. As a family, and that's what matters the most. Anyway, I got my brothers in the house, you know what I'm saying? Tommy and Jackie. Oh, what's a guan, y'all? How was your 4th of July, y'all?
It's pretty standard. And just here at home, we didn't go out and see fireworks. We had plenty of fireworks that were going around in our neighborhood, so really we didn't have to.
Right.
And they've been going off since Friday, and then Saturday. Oh, and then yesterday. I imagine that we're gonna have a few trailing into this week. We had our fireworks from the window, and just had a whole bunch of barbecue and played the pool in the backyard and kept it pretty simple.
That's what's up.
So,
that's what's up. How about you? How about you, Tom?
That was pretty good. Went over to my parents' house for the 4th for some social distancing, mask-wearing barbecue adventures. So, yeah, that was about it. And I watched, every year I try and watch Back to the Future on the 4th of July. So I did that. So I ticked all the boxes, I think. I got together with family.
That's good.
And, watched Back to the Future.
That's
nice. Is that a thing?
It is for me. It's just my thing.
Is that like a America thing for you? You know what I'm saying? Is that like your traditional thing? Like, this is America for me, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah. That's interesting. You know,
I don't know why, but when I watch that movie, I get I swell with patriotism.
Really?
I think it yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. When was that movie made? When was the first movie made again?
1985.
Okay, yeah, 80s, America. That's very American. 80s was very hardcore traditional America. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
But there's a lot in that movie. I mean, they go back to the 50s and, they kind of show that the Norman Rockwell veneer was kind of BS. There's, everybody's like, they scratch beneath the surface. It's not all
Word.
Norman Rockwell stuff.
Word.
It's just a movie I watch that makes me feel proud to be an American.
Yeah. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, it's all good. Everyone has their own traditional things. Some people are fireworks. Some people it's watching Back to the Future, chilling at home watching Back to the Future. That makes sense. That is totally fine. You know what I'm saying? Tanner Vane just said Back to the Future just oozes American spirit. It feels like so.
Yeah,
that people are people are agreeing
it's Robert
with you.
Zemeckis who did Forrest Gump, so he can definitely tap into that Americana thing pretty easy.
Yeah, I think it's that puffy vest. That's really the American thing. That's
You mean the life vest that he never used at all in that movie? He wears it, but he never uses it. There's no flood going on. What's up with what's up with the life vest, man? The flotation device around your body. I don't get it.
You got that Kanye style.
Yeah. That's Kanye all day. That's Kanye all day. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm going to let you finish, man. That's the other thing. We're going to talk about this in a second. I swear to God, we're going to talk about this because obviously 4th of July we were given a very interesting tweet. And we're going to talk about that here very, very quick, very, very soon. But real quick, I need to go into this conversation. Sorry for the left turn, but we're going to take this left turn. It's an unfortunate situation. Actor, Broadway star Nick Cordero died last night at the age of 41. He was battling, he had a long 95-day battle with COVID-19, in which, of course, he lost to the battle last night. So a lot of people are banding together. A lot of Broadway stars, a lot of actors that knew him were just kind of banding together, showing their sympathy, sharing their thoughts and all that. And what's crazy to me is this is one thing that I want to point out. This man had no pre-existing conditions. He was a healthy 41-year-old man. He had no other problems, and he contracted the virus, and of course, due to several different complications that happened during his battle with the virus, he ended up having to get his leg amputated, and he fell into a coma, and his wife and family basically stood by his side, praying over him and hoping for the best. Unfortunately, last night he lost his battle to COVID-19. And the thing is this man, like I said, had no pre-existing issues, no respiratory issues, no physical ailments at all. This was a healthy 41-year-old man. And it's really, it's heartbreaking to hear that this man died. And of course, just how he died, in the way in which he died. So my heart, prayers, my thoughts go out to him, to his family, and of course, may Nick Cordero rest forever in heaven. It's some terrible news. I've been following this and watching this for a while, ever since the news picked it up, and entertainment news, CNN, the Today Show. I mean, several media junkets were following this story, and it's terrible news. It's really, really terrible news. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's really too bad.
Yeah. And of course, there's a lot of people, a lot of stars are banding together, saying all these wonderful things about him, saying that he was such a bright light, he was such a talented individual. The thing is that he was a working actor. He may not have been in the movies, like Tom Cruise status, but he was a working actor out there doing a lot of shows, performing, and making a living doing what he loved, which was performing. And it's heartbreaking that he had to go the way he went. And like I said, as much as people say those deniers that are out there saying pandemic, this is a real thing, and this man really did die from this terrible virus. And may he rest in heaven for sure.
Yeah, I saw that they had to amputate his leg along the way. He was in the coma, and it really is a disease that can affect all the arteries and make it to where inflammation throughout the body is just rampant. And it looked like he really had gotten hit with the lung stuff. I don't know I guess he went onto a respirator because he was in a coma.
Yes.
And the longer that you're on a respirator and after you come off, it's really hard for your lungs to regain their ability to fully function. So even the people who have been on respirators like for a short amount of time, they still have chances for lifelong lung complications. And so they were saying that he would need a double lung transplant if he was going to live the life he wanted. So I really feel for their family. And everybody else that's out there right now that's in the same position. There's hospitals that are overflowing in different cities. That are families are facing the same thing every day. And stuff.
It is absolutely terrible news. And like I said, guy got another one up there right now. So it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate, But anyway, moving on to the next topic. It's part of one of our main topics of the day. Here it is. We got to talk about this Kanye West thing, y'all. I know this is another left turn. We're just going to real hard, bang that left turn hard in the cut. We got to talk about this because this is some real stuff. And, Kanye West is definitely not one to be, he's not one to shy away or pussyfoot around something, okay? He literally went. Can I say that word? I think I can say that word.
I think
I just did. Yeah. I just did.
I think that one's all right.
I just did. He's not one to beat around the bush. He gets straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? He's like, bang. You know what I'm saying?
Beating around the bush, you can't say. That's pornographic.
See, that's super pornographic. So let me try this again. He's not one to pussyfoot around the situation. He's just gonna go right into it. Okay. So here's the thing. Kanye West on July 4th, the 4th of July, put out a tweet. I forgot what it said. Damn, I don't have it in front of me. But anyway, he said basically along the lines of, I'm going to be running for president of these United States, hashtag 2020 vision. So, of course, Twitter, social media went ablaze. The whole world went insane. Okay, I already did a video about my reaction to it right off the bat. Honestly, I ran over to my computer, read this tweet, said what the, picked up the camera and shot something, my reaction to it. So if you haven't seen it yet, go and check that out. But the thing is well, there's a lot of things that we want to talk about here in this situation. First off, the things that I said in the previous video, go check it out. But the thing is this a move to try to mess up Biden, or could this be a move to mess up Trump? There's many different people that have many different perspectives and opinions about this particular situation. But before we jump into that question, what is it that he's going to have to do to be able to even run for president? From my understanding, it's a very extensive list. Tommy Boy, speak on it.
Yeah, well, according to Reuters, Kanye West would have two routes if he were going to get on ballots in November. He would either have to secure the backing of a smaller political party, or he would have to get a ground game going, get people out there collecting names on a petition to have his name added to a ballot. So unless he can get a ground game going with volunteers on the ground in all 50 states collecting signatures to get his name on the ballot between now and November, or unless he's able to secure the backing of a smaller political party, it's difficult to see how his name appears on the ballot unless it's as a write-in. And I think some of the states, including New Mexico and North Carolina, it's too late already to get your name on the ballot.
Yeah, it's already too late in certain areas. And the thing is the amount of people that have to, the amount of signatures that he has to get is, I mean, it's still, no matter what, it is a very heavy requirement. Let's just say that. It's not a request, it's a requirement. So he'd have to have all those things done in the next, how many days? 12, 13 days, if I'm correct? I mean, it's a very short amount of time that he has to get these signatures from these particular states just so he can even get written into the ballot. So, what do you think he's thinking, man? What do you think he's thinking, Jack? What do you think? And read that tweet real quick. Read that tweet, Jack.
We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future.
America.
I'm running for president of the United States.
Yeah.
Hashtag 2020 vision.
Now, real quick before you jump in, is he off his meds or is he on his meds? See, here's the thing. I've been reading so many different tweets from so many different people, and a lot of people, and people responding to the video that I put up. Like I said, shameless plug for the last time. Go check out that video. It is definitely something to check out. But there's a lot of people that were commenting underneath being like, oh, here we go. He off his meds again. Or a lot of people were going, here we go. He's here to just split the vote from Biden so that Trump can win. Maybe he's conspiring with Trump, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of things to talk about here. Jack, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I remember, 2019, he confirmed his intent to run for the presidency in 2024 at a surprise appearance at the annual Fast Company Innovation New York. And he started out, when I run for president in 2024, and began telling Easy footwear designer Stephen Smith that he said that the audience began laughing, when he said it. So obviously people look at it as a joke. I don't know if he is joking. Kanye's got some big visions, and he seems to be that person that kind of lays everything out for his entire life, and like lays out a plan. And he's been putting it into action for a real long time. So there's no doubt that Kanye is smart, and I just don't know the political side of him. I know that he is friends with Trump or friendly with Trump. I imagine that with the amount of money that they make, they probably lean a little Republican on the fiscal side. Obviously, they're doing the greater good for the public in a lot of instances. So maybe that's more the Democratic portion of them, but I don't know where he would run.
Okay. I'm going to jump to you, Tom, here in a second, but I want to point something out because I know Tom. I can see that Tom's wheels are running right now. No. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just being straight funky. I just see the wheels turning. Now the thing is you got to remember. Okay, Kanye has been. I don't know as if he's changed his mind as of late, but he has been a hardcore Trump supporter. He supports Trump in everything that he does. He thinks that that man can't do any wrong. He is a black conservative. So when you look at that, there's that part. But then there's the other part. He is a black conservative. And he also has a lot of things and a lot of ideals that he wants to be able to implement into the black community as well. So you have that as well playing on top of that. Now, there's a lot of things that are in play right now that you just don't know. Like how what I'm saying right now seems all over the place because it is all over the place. Because if you really think about it, this could be him this could be some sort of ploy trying to get him to maybe he's trying to promote a new album that's about to drop. Maybe he's got a new thing with Elon Musk that's about to drop. You know what I'm saying? A brand new Tesla designed by Kanye West. I don't know. There's so many different things that you got to, put into perspective here. Like, is he just doing that to make, to ruffle people's feathers so that when he drops that next thing, aside from that big deal with Gap, everybody's looking at that. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's looking in that direction. Now, he has been talking about running in 2024. Why not wait till 2024 where he can actually have some time, get his ish right, learn how to publicly speak instead of, I'm going to let you finish. Instead of those moments, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of those moments anyway, and actually get his whole campaign right by 2024. The other added thing, he has not shown any signs of actually having a campaign team. There is no team he's erected and that he's put together. So there's a lot of question marks here that are popping up. Then, if you look at the tweet, I'm running for president of the United States, hashtag 2020 vision. Now, does that mean he's actually running if he's running this year over the next 4 months, or is he just saying, I see clearly, and in the next 4 years, I'm going to be putting things together so I'm ready to properly run in 2024. See what I'm saying? 2020 vision. I can see far. I can see 2024. You see what I'm saying?
I think it's
a lot of things to brew up.
I don't think he's trying to get, cemented in as president in the next 4 months. He just signed a deal with Gap. He's going to be busy for the next year.
Yeah.
Like the next 5 years. I mean, he's going to be busy until he runs for president.
My thoughts exactly. He's going to be busy. So why would he be doing it right now? Right now. So it's like, all right, 2020 vision. Like I see the future. Like he jumped in that DeLorean. Hey, 2020, 2024. He's like, all right, in 4 years I'm running. I'm gonna start getting ready right now. You see what I'm saying? Tom, you haven't said a damn thing. What you think, man?
Well, I mean, Kanye, of course, has every right to run. And I don't like that we're a two-party system. I think there should be more people running for president.
Word.
But I would question the motives of anybody that would vote for Kanye West for president. I mean, keep in mind, in the last 5 years, he's been hospitalized due to hallucinations related to his psychosis. He frequently goes off his meds. Is that the guy you want holding the nuclear football? Is that the guy you want meeting up with Putin?
I was going to say, isn't that the situation that we're living in right now, though?
Well,
I mean, think about it.
No, I know that Trump has lowered the bar substantially, but I mean, at least Trump, I'm not going to say anything good about Trump, but he hasn't been hospitalized for hallucinations related to psychosis in the last 5 years. But again, this conversation is only possible. It reminds me a lot of that California special election where like Arnold Schwarzenegger ran and he was running against like a porn star and Gary Coleman and like all these people that had no knowledge or interest or background in politics. It's like Trump has lowered the bar so low on being president that now everybody thinks they can be president.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you want to vote for a guy who has a shaky hold on his own sanity and, is married to a woman who got famous by, having sex on camera, if that's who you want as your first lady, then, yeah, you can vote for Kanye. It's great. But I think he should be able to run. It's a free country. I don't like that it's a two-party system, but I would really question anybody that would want to vote for him for president. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a critical time in our country's, story, and we're going to put Kanye West in charge of it. I don't think any serious voter would vote for him.
Yeah, so I also do want to point something out. Okay, just because you got to remember, Kim K, right? Did it for the family. You know what I'm saying? She did that video for the fam. I hit it first. Okay, moving on from that, with Ray J. If you guys don't know that song, y'all don't know that song. Okay, never mind. It's all good.
Again, Pascal.
It's all good. It's all good. It's a song that he wrote about. Ray J wrote a song about smashing Kim K and saying I hit it first. Anyway, long story short, you also got to remember Melania posed nude in photos and stuff like that too.
Absolutely.
She was a model. So here it is. I mean, just because she didn't S no D's, okay, on the IG or on some grainy video, doesn't mean she hasn't done something where she was scantily clad,
right,
or exposed as well. So, just saying. So maybe
I get it. And every
so
day
maybe
I come on here and I question the sanity of people that still support Trump. So I
Right.
don't think it's really out of character for me to question people that would
no, and
vote
I'm
for
not,
Kanye.
and I'm not, and I'm not sitting here saying that at all. All I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say here, Tom, is that he probably is looking at, like what you just said, looking at Trump and going, well, if he won, and his girl's done some things, and he's crazy, and he's done some things, he's had some bankruptcies, he's filed for bankruptcy several times, I've had things that did not work out, but yet he won, he became president, so anything's possible. I could do it too. You know what I mean? I'm a billionaire now. Me and my wife are both independently billionaires. Yo, let's get this. Let's go and get this crown. That's what I think. That's where I think he's thinking, but I don't know. Then again, I'm like, maybe there's a new Tesla coming out designed by Kanye, because even Elon Musk endorsed his tweet. He was like, I'm all for it, So,
I mean, I'm all for him running. I just can't get inside the mind of anyone that would vote for Kanye West, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Is if you make time out of your day to go wait in line and go vote, and the guy you vote for, frequently goes off his meds and, is hospitalized with hallucinations related to psychosis, and, is quoted as an adult saying that he feels like a superhero when he puts on a red baseball cap, and you think that guy's the steady hand we need to lead the country, he has every right to run. I just think anybody that votes for him is not a serious voter. So I don't really see that it will hurt the Democrats or Republicans. I certainly don't think it's going to hurt Republicans. I don't think anybody's going to not vote for Trump in order to vote for Kanye. And I don't think many, if any, Democrats will vote for Kanye in place of Biden.
Okay. Well, here it is. Because I could see both sides. I could see it hurting Biden. I could also see it hurting Trump as well. Because here it is. There is like 41%, if I'm correct, 41% of Trump's voters are black conservatives, if I'm correct. Of course, I don't have the stats in front of me.
Hang on, you're saying 41 what?
Did I say 41%? I didn't mean 41%.
Yeah, that's definitely not right.
No, but so here it is. There's a large percentage of black voters that are still supporting Trump, no matter the amount of stuff that he's done right now. Now, a lot of that is young. There's a lot of it is young black voters. All right. So you look at that situation, but then you see you see Kanye come into the mix out of nowhere, right? Those young black conservatives could possibly turn to him. One, not only because he's conservative and he has his own views on things and maybe shares the same views as these young black conservatives, but he's also in the black demographic as well. Hate to throw that in there, but let's keep it real. Now, there's a possibility of black conservatives maybe leaning over and saying, "Hey, I'm going to vote for West instead of Trump because of various reasons." Maybe Kanye has a plan that's going to be for the black community. Now, he has said those things several different times about his things that he wants to implement things in regards to helping with the black community, making the black community stronger, bringing businesses back into America, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if he's sitting there putting out his ideas and his thoughts about how he'd like to run the country, that could sway those black voters to go over to Kanye instead of Trump. Now, you could say the same thing on the other side with Biden. Now, both Biden and Trump are not great. They're both weak in their own rights. People think that Biden is going senile. People think Trump is a racist. So you have Kanye West coming sailing in out of nowhere. Maybe he says a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe he actually gets out there and speaks and says some things that really rile people up and make them think. There's a good possibility that Trump could lose. Like I said, it could be a double-edged sword. It could really ruin Trump, or it could really ruin Biden, or it could ruin both at the same damn time. I don't know. But like I said, would he be able to bring in as many people as he could, like to sign those petitions in that short amount of time? His turnaround time would have to be absolutely astronomical. You know, and I understand he has fans for his music, but his political views, I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't think he'd be able to bring in. I mean, I just don't think people that are already going to vote in November, I can't imagine them switching their allegiance now to Kanye West. I don't think any serious voter would vote for Kanye West of any party. I think there might be an influx of politically ignorant people that don't really know what's going on, that on a lark would vote for Kanye West. But I can't imagine serious voters that are taking their responsibility in November seriously would actually go in and be like, Kanye West, that's who's going to fix China. That's who's going to, guide us through this civil rights thing we're going through, right? I mean, this is a critical point in our nation's history. I don't think any serious voter would vote for Kanye West.
Now, what's funny is that I remember having conversations with people. They're like, I don't think any serious voter would vote for Donald Trump. And then a whole bunch of people voted for Donald Trump. But I can see your point. I see your point in the difference between Donald Trump and Kanye. Republicans aren't going to split, and if they're going to split off, they want to go with the career politician and get some things maybe back into like a median type of thing. They're not going to jump to a party of. I'm not sure what his base they would be running on. I know that he has been pushing his Christianity portion of his life pretty strong. So he may be going and running on the religious, kind of platform and pushing for all the things that are associated with that. But I could see maybe him having an impact, Pascal, like you said. Like he could come in, he could take a little bit of votes away from both sides. I don't know who he'd have a bigger impact on. I don't see if he ran on the Republican ticket. Obviously, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of Biden voters that are jumping off the Democratic ticket to go and switch over just to vote for Kanye.
Real quick, what I was trying to say, real quick, because Joshua Munn just said this on the comments. What I was trying to say is, Trump has 41% of black approval, mostly in young black men. So that's what I was trying to say earlier. 41% approval in young black men right now, or in his black voters right now. So that's what I was trying to say really quick. Also, I'll say this though. Couldn't Kanye unify this country? There's a possibility he could. He is literally a black conservative. Now, if he was to run, if he really is going to run, let's just say if, because this all could be a ploy. The country is divided extremely. But for him to come in and come in as a black conservative, he's not only speaking on behalf of race issues, black issues, etc., he is also speaking on the behalf of conservatives as well. So he could be that person that unifies the country in a way. Or, let's just say this, or a black conservative in general running for president could actually help unify. Because, of course, the things that are the systematic racism, the Black Lives Matter movement, all those things that are happening that they're trying to bring attention to right now, outside of the coronavirus, is dividing this country greatly. Then you can throw in to wear or not to wear a mask. That is the question into the mix as well. And that's dividing the country tremendously as well. So having someone who is black conservative, who is not only talking to the black community, but also is leaning towards the conservative side, could be the person that helps unify this country. Just a thought. Whether that is Kanye or not. You see what I'm saying?
I don't see a time anywhere in the near future where he'd be able to get enough votes. You know how long it took to get a black politician as a president?
Yeah.
A career politician for years. And then while he was there was just basically, ransacked throughout the entire time. Kanye could go on a ballot. I just don't see any way that a black rapper could get that much Republican vote.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, I don't see it happening. And that poll of 41% of likely what black voters would vote for Trump, that comes from a Rasmussen poll in June. That they noted that percentage was a 5-fold increase in the number of black voters that voted for Trump in 2016. And that poll is very much an outlier with every other poll that has shown that. I mean, it's a talking point for conservatives that in that one Rasmussen poll, it was at 41%, but it's a 5-fold increase over 2016 and an outlier to most of the other polling that's going on now. And I imagine with his response to George Floyd, that number's gone down even more.
Okay. I do have a comment here. Tano Vane just put this up. If any of you are Christian, does Kanye's religion appeal to you? I'm not, but he seems more legitimately religious than Biden or Trump, who probably aren't at all, in my honest opinion. Here it is. When it comes to Kanye's religion, he has been God-fearing for a long time. He has been hardcore Christian for a very long time. To me, that doesn't change my thoughts so much. You could be any religion. It's just really about how you want to run this country, or your thoughts are about this country. Some people use it as a device. Some people see who I'm talking about. But anyway, use it as a device. Use it as a tool to grab more voters. I think he really is truly, honestly, a devout Christian. But that does not change my thoughts in regards to who I'm voting for. Like I said, if he had certain policies and certain ideals that he wanted to implement into this country, that's what I care about more than anything else. I care about what he's going to try to do for the black community, what he would do in regards to this whole defunding police movement that's going on, the Black Lives Matter movement, everything that surrounds it, everything that has to do with what's going on with the coronavirus. Those are the things that really matter to me most. And then, of course, how the country can make money, how the country can get out of debt, how we can keep pushing forward. The normal things that we all care about. To me, Obama was not Christian at all. But I did like a lot of his policies and a lot of things that he leaned towards. So the religion part doesn't really bother me none. I know that it does for a lot of other people that watch and that are voting. A lot of those voters that are out there really lean towards, is he a God-fearing man? Sure, I care about that to a certain extent. But what I really care about is, how are you going to run this country, man? The world, this country's on fire. This world is on fire right now. How are you going to cool them flames down, in a proper manner? That's what I care about more than anything in the world. You could be God-fearing all day, but if you ain't doing nothing for the country, then we got issues. We got to sit down and talk, Yeah.
I mean, I think that, there's that separation of church and state for a reason, although those bounds seem to be being broken down a little bit over the past couple of weeks when they've been voting for money to be able to be put towards private Catholic schools for people to have like offset cash towards going to private school. So there's always that wearing down of that separation. But full on Christian leader, if that's their vision and their goal, and they have religion behind their every step, it's hard to say whether or not that's good for the country, because we're not just a nation of Christians.
Yes.
And we are, if anything, we're at the most diverse amount of religion and non-religion based, population right now. And so, I don't know. He definitely, he had like 50,000 people plus at his last attendance, so the last outdoor large event that he did for coming to his church, the Church of Kanye. And so, I don't know. He can definitely pull a crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got, if every one of his Twitter followers voted for him, still wouldn't have enough, but
there are possibilities. The possibilities are endless. And like I said, if he was to do, I think if he was to, this is too soon. So if he's saying 2020 vision for the future, like I see the future, I see far ahead, then I think that's what I feel like that could be what he's thinking, or what that hashtag meant. And that gives him ample time to get himself right, get the right team behind him, start putting a certain image out there that maybe hasn't put out there yet. Showing that he is on point, that he is balanced, that he is on his meds, that he is a critical thinker. There's a lot of things that you can do in 4 years. I mean, you can reinvent yourself multiple ways in 4 years. It's just a matter of how he approaches the things, how he approaches 2024. 2020 is crazy. And if he does do that, that's going to really mess up what's going on. Like I said, a lot of people are wanting to see Trump out. Now, I understand that there's a lot of people that are wanting Trump in to stay, but there's a lot of people that want to see Trump out. And if he does something like this, there is a possibility that it could really wreck and mess up that motive, that goal, which is getting Trump out, let's just say. As people will say, it's Trump's eviction notice, their eviction vote type thing. Now, is he really trying to do that? Is he trying to muck things up for Biden? Or is he really just going after it because he really wants it right now? I leave the question up to you guys. Comment down below, as you guys have already been doing. Keep the comments going. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. And top chat, there's donations, and go buy a mask and a shirt.
Shameless plug.
That's right.
Tell them about us. Tell about our lovely merch. Why don't you?
You just got to go to teespring.com/stores/the-Pascal-show. And then you can just see all of our goodies we got there. And so, yeah. And maybe we can put a Kanye for President shirt together.
That'd be funny. But I'll say this again. I'll say this also, and I said it in the other video, and I've said it multiple times. But I knew this was going to happen, that he was going to say something about running for president. I just didn't know he was going to do it right now. Like right now, y'all. Come on, man. That's insane. It's insane to me. It's insane. Wait 4 years. Get a chance to get your stuff right. Get your mind right. Get your stuff right. Get your Kim right. You see what I'm saying? She obviously has been getting her stuff going. She's been going to law school. She's been exonerating prisoners, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, she's doing what she needs to do to get into the political plane. Kanye's been sort of doing that. So now you really got to start doing it and then run in 2024. That's what I want to see. Right now is not a good move. Hey, if it is going to be what it is and Trump wins, let him win. You know what I'm saying? Let him win. Let him have his 4 years. When he steps aside, you're right there, ready to run. You're fully ready. You're properly vetted, and you can start knocking things out the park.
Right.
Right now, you look like a novice, and it seems like you are off your meds, and that's not a good look. Period.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he should run for like alderman or like, county council first, just kind of get a taste of politics, make sure he wants to do it before he goes for the CEO job of politics. Just a thought.
Secretary of the Interior.
Right. Maybe just dip your toe in politics a little bit, figure out if it's something you like before you try and be the CEO of the, richest country on earth.
Facts, Tom.
Get a permanent spot on the Supreme Court. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, you're right. Tap, dip your toe in it real quick. Make sure the water's warm. Make sure it's a pool you want to jump into, because when you jump into it, it's there. It's done. I mean, unless you want to can you imagine him making beats and stuff in the White House? Oh my Lord.
Imagine his inauguration though.
Oh, it'd be amazing. Are you kidding me? Man, Jay-Z would be on there. Beyonce would be a woo, woo, woo. You know what I mean? She'd be doing her thing. You know what I mean? It'd be amazing. Pop Smoke would be, spitting bars off to the side. It would be just insane. Tekashi 6ix9ine would hopefully be put back in jail. Just saying. That'd be funny as hell. That'd be funny as hell. That's something to see. That is definitely something I would want to see. And I'm not sitting here saying that he couldn't do it in 2024. He could have a fighting chance in 2024. 2020, not so much. You're just there to mess it up and stir the pot in the votes. What are you going to say, Tom?
I think one of the things we're overlooking on this is how stressful of a job being president is. I mean, even if you're a Trump supporter, you have to admit his mental health is taking a ding while being president.
Thank you.
You can go back and look at how other presidents have aged. I mean, you can look at Barack Obama on his first day and on his last day. It's a stressful, highly stressful job. Do we want somebody with a tentative grasp on their own sanity as it is being thrust into that position? Is that fair to Kanye, and is that fair to America to put him in that situation where, I think most reasonable people would assume the job would probably drive him insane, literally insane, like Nero, like appointing his horse to his council insane. Like, if that's who people want to vote for, I don't like the two-party system, but again, you have to look at Kanye, and this isn't like an anti mental health stance or anything like that. It's more out of concern for Kanye and out of concern for the country. If you put somebody that's completely mentally unstable in the most stressful job in America, it's not going to end well. Just straight up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be, oh man, it's going to be, like I said, it'll be a sight to see. And if it actually goes down, trust me, I'll be sitting there front row with popcorn, just what's going to happen next? It's going to be hilarious. Like I said, I was like, when my girl told me the news about Kanye running, I was like, that can't be real. I started laughing because, not trying to take his announcement like a joke, but at the same time, it was hilarious. It's just hilarious. I'm sorry. He's you got to understand, the man is genius level. Okay. Yeah. As far as his art, as far as his what he does, his creations, Absolutely. The music, the designs, he obviously is genius level. And sometimes there's a little bit of madness with the genius. I get it. But that genius running this country would be very interesting and extremely questionable. But then again, if he runs 2024, he has 4 years to get his ish right, his mind right, his soul right, all that. Something to think about for sure. And then he can really make a decision where he stands, you know? Because here's the thing. You've noticed during the Black Lives Matter movement, he really has not stepped out and said anything in support or against. He has done some things. He has donated money. He has done certain things like that, but he has not said anything. He has not gone out and said, these are my thoughts about the Black Lives Matter movement. Let's just say that. He has not come out and said anything about, these are my thoughts about what's going on with COVID-19. No, he's been busy securing the bags with Gap, continuing to make music, and bragging about the fact that he is actually a billionaire. That's all he's done. So what of his political views? You see what I'm saying? Inquiring minds would like to know, what are his political views? He's put them out in certain places, but he hasn't. We've never seen him in a debate. We've never seen him sit down and have an interview talking specifically about his ideals, about what he wants to do with this country. So him running is almost kind of coming off like a little bit like a sideshow. It's deterring us from the actual goal at hand, whichever it might be. Trying to keep Trump in or trying to get Trump out. I don't know. I just keep thinking it's just it's a fun little piece for the reality show that has been conducting since 2016. That's my personal opinion. Now, there's a lot of people who think that he and Trump sat down, like, Kanye called him on the bat phone and said, hey, man, I want to do this thing, and I'm about to throw you. I'm going to try to help you out and throw all these votes from Biden because, black people mess with me and they love my ass. Nah, I don't think it's really like that. I don't think it's some conspiracy theory. I just think he literally wants to run and he's just being stupid right now, But anyway, those are my thoughts, and those are our thoughts, of course. You know what I mean? Keep the comments going on down below. I'd really appreciate it. We got to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, there's a whole lot more stuff we got to talk about. Like two protesters got hit in Seattle on the highway from a hit and run on the highway on a very, very busy freeway, I-5. And so we're going to be talking about that here very, very shortly. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Hey, take off to me.
Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs.
Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their self because they're not so unique. All of us under surveillance. We was a feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling the road and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. You can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
the Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that like button underneath this feed right now as we speak. And if you haven't done it yet, go and crush that subscribe button. That would mean the world to us. Anyway, we got to go into this next story because this is some really interesting stuff. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this thing that happened over the past couple days, but two protesters were hit by, basically plowed down by a car that was driving on the freeway while they were protesting on I-5. They were protesting on I-5, and a car plowed through a group of protesters. And of course, thankfully, unfortunately, they hit 2 people, but thankfully they only hit 2 people. Now, one of the victims of this hit and run just recently died yesterday. Her name was Summer Taylor, 24 years old. She died from injuries that came from being hit by this car. The other victim, who is 32-year-old Diaz Love, remains in critical condition in the ICU. So, of course, thoughts and prayers go out to her and her family, who are, of course, I'm sure, praying over her and wishing her the best of luck for a speedy recovery. Man, this is a crazy story. There were protesters on this highway, protesting in regards to the Black Lives Matter movement, protesting in regards to George Floyd. And this highway was, they literally had cars that were parked horizontally across the freeway. This particular car blazed right by their blockade, their man-made, their own made blockade, and just blasted right through this group of protesters. Now, I'm not going to show the video on here because honestly, it is gruesome as all get out, and I don't know. I don't feel right showing this video. It was really, really messed up. But we are going to talk about this. I will show a still of it here very shortly, but I do want to talk about this whole situation because obviously it's still developing. It's still a developing story. There's a lot of questions in regards to the driver. Was the driver under the influence? Who was the driver? Why did he go? How did he get onto this freeway? Et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna throw it to Tom because he got a chance to take a look a little bit of it at it and everything, and we're gonna talk about this because, like I said, this is it's terrible news. It's absolutely terrible news. Tommy, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there were two protesters that one was killed, one seriously injured. I mean, it sounds like there were cars blocking the highway that he drove around, and he did not slow down or stop after the accident. Someone else had to jump it. One of the protesters jumped in their car and chased him down the road and was able to stop him eventually. But yeah, I can't watch the video. I'm not going to watch the video.
Yeah.
I'm not a person who does well with gore, but I don't know. I'm curious to know how obvious it was that the road was shut down.
Yeah.
Like, was it something where, like, at the last second, you're like, oh my God, people on the road? Or was it like, okay, there are people on the road, I should probably slow down and be responsible?
Yeah. What's really interesting
So,
go ahead.
So the vehicle is reported to have entered the I-5 at Vine Street Freeway via the off-ramp, going around barricades and sticking two protesters that were on the freeway, or striking two protesters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
now, so here's the thing.
That sounds like he meant to do what he did.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I want to point this out. There were blockades on ramps. This car went on to the opposite. He went on the opposite direction on a ramp to get onto the highway. Then he went down the highway. Now, the thing is who in their right mind would think, oh, I see all these cars parked horizontally in the middle of the freeway. What do you usually do? You slow your car down. You don't blaze right through it trying to go as fast as you bloody can. Now, I'm telling you, when I saw this video, this dude did not stop. He accelerated. He kept going. He didn't slow down. Like, there was one moment where he slowed down going around the blockade. I'm going to show you this blockade real quick. Or this thing that he did, or the blockade. All right. I'm going to show this to you right quick because this is what it looked like, guys. Okay. Obviously, this is right before he hits the two victims. Okay. The two protesters. All right. Now, here's the thing. If you look over here, there were cars right here, all blocking off all of the highway, of the freeway. Now, he drove from this direction here, if you're looking at my mouse. Okay. Now, he literally drove around this side and then gunned it. He just kept going as fast as he could, then hit those people, right? Hit those people, and then have he didn't stop. He stopped because he slowed down because he had hit two people, but then he kept going. Somebody had to jump in a car and chase that dude's ass down. That man plowed through those people like he was trying to aim for somebody, like straight up Grand Theft Auto type of ish. Real talk. Okay. Now, that's what you see. That's what you're seeing right there. Now, people are sitting here. Of course, there's a lot of questions like, was he under the influence? From my understanding, from reports are saying that he was not under the influence at all. He was not intoxicated. He was on no drugs. He was on nothing. He was on nothing. He just took his car, blazed down the freeway, and drove into a group of protesters. Now, the other thing I'm going to say is this, okay? Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be feeling some type of way about what I'm about to say. And I mean this with all the love in my heart. Don't protest on a freeway. That's all I'm going to say. Don't. You know how many times I see protesters on a highway, freeway, in the middle of the streets? I've seen it multiple times. And a lot of times there are cops that are escorting those people down, those protesters down the street. This situation, you don't see any cops around. I don't see any lights on. I don't see any of those things at all. This is like just a random impromptu, it seems like, demonstration in the middle of the night, mind you, on a very, very busy freeway. This is my issue, man. This is my issue with the protesting. I'm fully 110% for the protests. But every single time, it doesn't even matter if there are cops there and it's in broad daylight. The one thing that I fear the most whenever I see people getting onto freeways and highways is that somebody's going to be crazy enough to plow right through a group of innocent protesters. And this is exactly what happened. I get protesting, but you have to protest safely. You don't go out in the middle of a busy freeway. That is I-5. It's a very busy freeway. You don't go on there and protest. You just don't. We got to think before we do these things. I'm at a loss for words now because I don't know what to say, because this is not something that you should be doing, guys. Period. Even when it's properly organized with the right amount of safety and all that, there's still some jackass that's going to get into their white car and blaze through people because he doesn't give a damn. And that's exactly what just happened right here, guys. Don't protest on the freeway, y'all. Period. What are your thoughts, guys?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, the police shut down the highway. Then it looked like protesters also had things. So, like, he intentionally got onto the highway. I mean, this was like. I'm reading that so it was a black man, and he killed and basically injured 2 white women protesters at the Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah.
Which is just an ironic statement.
Yeah. It's like an oxymoron.
So he drove his car into a Black Femme march. So, I mean, but yeah, they're out there like almost close to 1 o'clock in the morning. Being on the highways, I mean, we talked about this before, even in St. Louis. I mean, especially the first groups that go out, and are stopping the traffic. It's so dangerous just to be the first one to participate in it. And then for the people that get added on, now you have groups of cars usually that are backed up for miles. All it takes is one antsy truck driver that's been driving too long, or somebody that feels like they're scared for their life, and say a Karen or a Ken. And in these types of situations could happen very easily on the highway. But this one seems more like it doesn't matter if they were being safe with the highway being shut down and being on there. This was someone that was looking to cause this type of damage.
Yeah. I mean, here it is. I would play the video just so we could see the action with our own 2 eyes. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to. It is terrible. It is a terrible video. Then there's also video out there of the perspective of one of the women that actually died, Summer Taylor. It was her video. It was her camera that she was videotaping on the highway, on the freeway, in the middle of it, interviewing people. And all of a sudden, you just hear car, 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 and then all of a sudden, you hear her body hit the car, and her phone that she was filming off of just goes flying into the air, just flipping like crazy. There are so many different perspectives of this actual accident, this incident, that like I said, it is just mind-boggling that this situation even happened. But these are the moments when I say, don't protest in the middle of a freeway. Period. Because here it is. That's a perfect example of if there's a will, there's a way. Why would this guy need to get on the freeway right at that particular area?
On the off-ramp.
On the off-ramp. He went the opposite direction. Like I was saying, if there's a will, there's a way. He clearly knew, he probably drove up to one of the barricades, one of the spots that was barricaded, and he said, well, why does he really need to get on the freeway? If he wanted to get home, he could have drove local streets. He could have gone around it, found another spot that wasn't going on the off-ramp. Like I said, if there's a will, there's a way. So no matter what, even if it was a blocked off, organized demonstration, there's still some jackass that's going to get on the highway and blaze down the road. And what blows my mind is this man was sober. Completely sober. And I guess maybe he was trying to open her up on the freeway because he was like, man, this freeway is dead. Let's get it. Like just letting it go. I don't know. And then all of a sudden he sees these cars and he's like, oh crap. Oh crap. That's the only other thing I can think of, unless he was literally on doing something for bloodthirst. That's the only thing I can think of.
I just can't understand why you would get on the highway going the wrong way, drive around the barricade. I mean, it sounds like an open and shut case of premeditated murder.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not the safest thing in the world to protest on the highway, but it sounds like this guy wanted to take out people either way. I mean, these people could have been protesting on a sidewalk. He might have just shown up with a machine gun and shot them all. I mean, there's no difference really. I mean, it seems like premeditated murder. It doesn't seem like a crime of opportunity where it's like, I just happen to be in my car, I'll run over these people, or anything where he's fearing for his life. It just seems like a guy wanted to go out and hurt some people. It wouldn't matter where these people were. It sounded like he wanted to kill people.
Yeah. It's I mean, here it is. Even if his intent was not that, it was. That's all. Even if he was not trying to hurt anybody, he was trying to hurt somebody. Doesn't matter which way you look at it. If you see there's a blockade, you see that you can't get on the ramp for some specific reason, you don't take the off ramp and then blaze down the road. You just don't. I mean, me personally, if that was happening in my town, and I was trying to get on the highway, yeah, I mean, I'd be annoyed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, there's a protest going on. There's got to be a protest. Back out, and just, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna find another alternate way home. You know, I'm gonna drive locally. I'll just take all side streets, side roads to get home. I'm not about to sit there and go, man, I must get on the freeway as quickly as I can. Let me take this off ramp real quick. Okay. We're open. Let's go. No. Nothing is that important for you to get onto a blocked off freeway and then go flying down the freeway. Sober, by the way. I don't know. It's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely comment down below and let us know what you think. You know, do you think, I mean, I don't even have a question for this. It's just, what do you think? You know, Mr. T12 just said, so tragic. Carrie Ann, which is also very true. The poor girl was live streaming. She was live streaming that event. Son of a gun.
So there's also another video where it shows the driver stopped about a half mile from the scene where he hit the protesters.
Mm-hmm.
And the protesters caught up with the car and started attacking the vehicle. So he drove off and waited for police further down the road.
Yeah.
So like he stopped. It's just a weird situation.
He stopped after he hit the.
Yeah, he stopped after he hit him.
He did.
A half mile down the road, and then the protesters caught up with him and started like beating on his car and trying to get him out. And he drove off.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, and the thing is I get the fear of a group of people coming in at you after you just did something crazy. The initial response is to hit the pedal. You know what I'm saying? And drive off out of fear. That initial reaction is, oh God, you know what I mean? Oh my God, you know, I get it. Fear happens. But at the same time, I don't know, man. It's so, I'm still trying to, I'm trying to wrap my mind around his reasoning, like the perspective of the actual driver. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it is not something that you do. This was definitely premeditated, in my personal opinion. And it's a damn shame. But then it also goes back to my brothers and sisters that are out there protesting on behalf of the Black Lives Matter movement. Please take this as a precaution, as a warning. Do not, I repeat, do not protest in the middle of the freeways. Please. We need to be safe. This is not something that we should be doing, because something like this is going to happen over and over and over again. What do you think, Tom?
I mean, yeah, it's probably not very safe. But again, this guy was going to kill him anyway. I mean, if they were on a sidewalk, he might have just grabbed a machine gun and shot him. If they were on a street with a lower speed limit, he might have just sped up to the same speed he was going on the highway to hit him. I mean, it seems like this guy had intent. He premeditated this whole thing out. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not safe to protest on the highway, but it's probably not safe to protest in a lot of places.
Yeah.
This guy took it upon himself to go out and kill people, and he did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't feel like the blame goes on the people blocking the highway. The blame goes on the guy that went up the off ramp and thought this through and decided to mow down a bunch of protesters.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like I said, it was not a situation that needed to happen, period. You know, this is like I said, an unfortunate series of events. Yes, it was an accident, but I don't know. It is a very questionable series of events that happened. All of it's very questionable. And at least for right now, we don't have all the answers right now because everything's still developing. And it's nuts that it's scary to me, the thought that that man was completely sober. That's scary. Just don't protest in the middle of the freeway, y'all. Please. Just don't.
And don't hit protesters with your car.
And also that too. Thank you. And don't hit protesters with your car.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger issue here.
True. True. Very, very true.
I mean,
It's a sad
so
thing.
and I'm reading comments on Twitter from a whole bunch of people. There's a lot of hate, but there's some of the protesters that were part of that group that were talking about how it happens in Seattle all the time. It doesn't matter if we're on the highway or if we're on the streets. We have police that are in unmarked cars after they get off work, circling our areas where we're at on the streets and yelling racist things at us out their window. And there's people that drive through the protest in the middle of the actual streets as well. So, it doesn't matter really if the protests happen on the highway or the sidewalk, and we can go through and find stuff. I mean, there's things of cars driving on sidewalks trying to get around protesters, hitting other protesters.
Yep.
There's other cars that are literally going there waving the Confederate flag, trying to just run people over. And there's, it's the intent. You don't get onto a highway on the off ramp and speed up as fast as you can go, thinking maybe it's closed down. And even then, so you got onto the highway just to go in your Jaguar and go as fast as possible. I don't get it. There's no, you don't go on an off ramp to get on a highway that's closed down, that's been closed down for over an hour. They close it off right before midnight. This happened around 1:16. The protesters didn't go on the highway until about 12:17, they said. So, they've been on the highway for about an hour. And so that means it was closed down in that area for about an hour. And if you're going around barricades and you just skip the on-ramp because you see barricades there and you go to the off-ramp, well, there's definitely some intent, that's gonna be behind that.
Yeah, that's very true. Michael on Facebook just said, especially in the highways, get out of the highways. That's just dumb. And we can do a whole bunch of what ifs. We can what if all day. And that's very true. We could, we don't have all the answers. We could speculate all day, every day. But, here it is. What are your thoughts? Was it an accident or was it premeditated? Definitely comment down below. But definitely, protesters, stay off the highway. And drivers, don't try to hit people with your cars. Just like Tom said. It's just use your head.
It's murder. It's literally murder.
It's wrong.
Don't murder people.
Exactly. Don't murder people. And because it's ungodly. Okay? It's ungodly. Please, just don't hurt people with your cars. And protesters, please find another way, a safe way to protest, not on the freeways. Anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. I appreciate everybody's comments. Keep the comments going on down below. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like button down below. That would really mean a lot. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Hey, take off Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs.
Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their self because their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. People are feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly tainted.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. You can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
the Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We do this show, just in case if you don't know, we do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So be a part of this conversation. If you're enjoying the conversation and all that, we do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Hit that like button underneath this feed. We got to keep this ball moving. Tommy Boy's got the story. What's a guan, Tommy Boy?
Yeah, been hearing about people having their acceptance letters to certain colleges rescinded after their social media posts have come up where they're saying racist things. A lot of people are saying a lot of things online right now about the protests going on, about Black Lives Matter, about George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. The list goes on. And not all of them are good or helpful. So a lot of high school students that are looking to go to college are finding that the colleges that they thought they were going to are now sending out letters saying, hey, we saw your Snapchat video where you were saying a whole bunch of racist stuff. Have fun finding a new school.
Wow.
So that's kind of happening now. And there was a star high school athlete who was recruited to play football at Cornell, and his acceptance has been rescinded after there was video of him using a racial slur on Snapchat.
Whoa.
Yeah. Marquette University revoked an incoming freshman's admission offer because of a Snapchat post mocking the death of George Floyd. There was an honors student bound for University of Florida who now has to make other plans after the university learned of an Instagram post where the student declared she was most definitely a racist. So lot of dumb kids out there, even if they are honor students, even if they are valedictorians or whatever. A lot of dumb kids out there blowing their chances at colleges. And this has raised a bunch of questions because some of these schools that are rescinding offers are state schools. So it gets into the whole territory of free speech. And can a government institution exclude people based on speech? And what a lot of these colleges are saying is that in their admissions process, they look at the totality of the person, not just grades, not just extracurriculars, but the totality of the person. So they're using that as a way of excluding these people who have said racist things on the internet from attending their school. Because I guess it's a lot harder to kick someone out of school for saying racist things once they're already admitted, because then it becomes a definite speech issue. But then again, a lot of these private schools that these kids are getting, like Marquette, that they're private institutions. They don't have to abide by free speech. They can say, "Oh, you said that, you're not going here." But yeah, there's no shortage of these. There's a whole New York Times article where it's just story after story of kids getting on Snapchat, Instagram, that kind of stuff, saying racial slurs, saying all kinds of racist stuff. And now they're not going to be able to go to the college of their choice.
You know, it's not only, doesn't just stop there. There are, I look at the amount of people have been fired from their jobs for how they act on social media. It is no longer just that area where you can go and go on a rant and not be held accountable. And people are actually taking the steps to be able to have access to your social media. So there's some like businesses that have you sign up and provide all of your access information to your social media when you get a new job with them, because they want to make sure that you are following the rules and that you are like up to their standards of morality, I believe. And it's a pretty interesting, reach out into a personal life as opposed to the professional life. Because I can understand public school. How could they deny anybody based off their beliefs or their free speech or anything like that? I imagine there could be some lawsuits if it was a public-based school. But a private school, I could see them having, obviously, all their freedom to let them go or not allow them in.
Yeah. Interesting. Because, okay, so real quick, we're going back to the top of the story really quick, Tom. The people who are exposing these aspiring college students, right, are these people that are their friends? Is it just people on social media that are exposing them? Or is the college actually seeing those things themselves, like doing their own investigation on each and every single student that they have coming in?
As I understand it from the article, it sounds like there are people online that are keeping lists of inflammatory posts from people so that they can reach out to their employers or the school they may be attending. I mean, there are people out there who are, they have spreadsheets up of people's individual posts.
That's wild.
And they say, oh, that's this person. Well, where are they going to school? Where are they employed? I mean, it's an organized effort to call out people that are spreading hate on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's certainly bitten a few of these. I mean, one of these people was a valedictorian of her high school and is now, where is this? Liberty Woodley, 17-year-old. She was the 2020 valedictorian of her high school class at Cape Coral, Florida, had accepted an offer to attend the University of Florida. She won't be enrolling there because they saw her Instagram post where she said, "I really try so hard not to be a racist person, but I most definitely am. There's no denying it." So,
okay. So then let's throw the question out to everybody else. Do the colleges have a right to do that? Do colleges have a right to rescind their admissions to these students, these aspiring college students' admissions? Comment down below. Let us know what you think. Because here it is. Tom has a point there, or Tom brought up a good question, or a good point and a good question in this situation is freedom of speech. The fact that they are being able to exercise their First Amendment right, shouldn't they? I mean, shouldn't it be? Should that stop somebody from being able to go into a college? What do you guys think?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes education is the best thing for someone. You know, going to a college and being around a whole bunch of different ethnicities and ages of people, you know, it can change your view. Or you can go and get into a fraternity and be surrounded like-minded individuals, and you flock towards a group of people that may or may not be, you know, on the same level of hate as you. And, you know, there's little niches that form as well. So, you know, it's definitely, you know, I remember writing essays to colleges when I was trying to get in, because it wasn't just based off grades. They want to see about your life story. They want to hear about who you are. You know, they have values that, you know, they set for their standard of their school, and they expect everyone there to be able to uphold them. If you're straight up saying that you're against their values, and they're saying, well, with this additional information, you know, your application is no longer accepted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's harder once they actually become full-on students, it sounds like. So, but they're, you know, they have found a loophole.
Yeah.
And whether or not it's okay or not, it's happening.
Right. Tom, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I can see the speech side of it, but at the same time, I mean, if you're trying to cultivate a safe atmosphere for minorities at your college, I could definitely see where if you've got somebody that's saying a whole bunch of racist stuff on there, you might say, well, how is this going to affect the lives and happiness of our black students or our gay students or, you know, our transgendered students? If you've got somebody out there that's spreading hate against them, you got to think about, you know, how is that going to impact the education and well-being of other students at the school too?
Okay.
So
now the only argument I have here is this. I can't even believe that I'm saying this right now, but I'm going to say it. Here it is. That's only one student. I'm just throwing that as the devil's advocate right now. That is only one student. This is not a group of students that are getting admitted into, let's just say, Cornell. This is just one student with their ignorant, of course, their own personal ignorant thoughts on race in the matters of race. That's one student, not a group of students, unless it was like, let's just say all these students band together and started talking this hateful rhetoric on Snapchat and they were all going to Cornell. I can understand that, but that is one student. So it's not like that one student's going into that school as a group. Does that make sense? It's not like one large voice. This one single voice talking out their ass. You see what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. In the real world right now, I applaud every teacher. I mean, every university that's sitting there rescinding their admittance, their admissions. Absolutely. I'm happy about it. Absolutely. That's what you get for talking crazy. But First Amendment rights, they have the right to speak their minds. See what I'm saying? So it's not like they're one large group of people. It's just one person going in. That's one ignorant ass, you know, in the sea of hopefully smart, forward-thinking individuals that maybe that group or their surroundings could make them unlearn the hate that they have. Possibly. Now, I'm just, like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Let me tell you, if I could have gone to college without some of these ignorant ass kids that I went to college with, I would have had a holly jolly Christmas. But unfortunately, that's not how the world works. You know, you still have to deal with unwoke people. Let's just say that. You know? So does that mean that that colleges just push all these students out for exercising their First Amendment rights? When it's just one person.
Right.
Like I said, if it was a group of people, this might be another conversation. but this is one person going to Yale. One person. Well, shoot, if it was Yale or see, that's the thing. Yale, Cornell, Harvard, all these schools that want to have the embodiment of the perfect student, right? And those students should be free thinking and forward thinking. When they put out a video, one, it takes a lot of energy, as much as it is simple to do, to pick up a phone, right, and record. It takes a lot of energy to pick up a phone, turn onto your Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and put out your own racist rhetoric into your social media. That takes a lot of energy too. You see what I'm saying? So it's interesting that somebody would be that dumb to go onto their platforms to say ignorant ass ish, especially with everything that's going on right now. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, and there are some schools that aren't doing this, like Louisiana State University and Missouri State University have both cited free speech protections in their decisions not to revoke people applying to their schools that have said stupid stuff on Facebook.
What two universities, real quick?
Louisiana State and Missouri State.
That makes sense.
But yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you have Cliff Smart, who's the Missouri State University president, came out and he said, as a public university, we are legally required to uphold the principles of free speech embodied in the First Amendment to the Constitution. The video, as hurtful, insensitive, and offensive as it is protected by the First Amendment, as was the language in the social media posts. Now, he may have a point there legally, but I don't know. I mean, if you're a parent of a black child, or if you're a black student looking to go to college in the fall and you see that statement from the Missouri State University president, are you going to be like super excited to go to that school?
No.
So, I mean, yeah, I think that, you know, I mean, sure, you're letting this one racist in under the guise of free speech, but you're putting off a whole group of people that are looking for a higher education. That's kind of my thought on it.
Mm-hmm. Jack?
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, we publicly fund the schools. So if you're a taxpayer, you should have access to it.
Right.
You know, I mean, so I think Tanavane said that, you know, if you're on parole or if you've been in prison and you get out, you're still allowed to go. So, you know, you can't have limitations or the public access stuff based off of protected speech. In private schools, it can impose their will, just like a private business. A public, you know, you can go ahead and say whatever you want. And you can still walk into the police station. You can still walk into City Hall. You can still walk into a library. You have public access to it if you pay for it. So, you know, there is definitely the legality side of it. Legally, probably need to, you know, not bar anybody from the public schools.
Yeah.
Morally, a lot of people shouldn't get a lot of access to a lot of things. Like, yeah.
Facts. Figgity facts, baby. Yeah. It's definitely an interesting conundrum. It's definitely an interesting situation because there is no right answer to this. I mean, I personally think my gut reaction is, yeah, kick them all out, you know, please. I approve this message. But at the same time, there is that argument of freedom of speech and them being able to say what they need to say. But then at the same time, maybe them going to a school that is properly integrated. It really depends on the school, of course, because there are schools that are not properly integrated at all. And that's a whole other can of worms that's another rabbit hole we could jump down that we're not about to go. But depending on where they're going, there might be an opportunity for them to be around more diverse people, for them to change their minds, get away from the ignorant environment that they might be in. Or that closed-minded environment that they're in, so that they can go somewhere and allow themselves to open up their minds and hopefully flourish. Not everybody is born with an open mind, or born into families or into environments that allow them to be forward-thinking individuals. So college, hopefully, is something that causes people to open up their minds,
Right.
and get a higher learning, and start to unlearn some things. But that's another thing. Comment down below. Definitely let us know what you think. We're gonna get moving to the next story. Okay, Jack.
I think that Trump. Remember the other week how he said that you don't need a higher education anymore. You just need skill.
Yeah.
So I think he saw this coming. He knew that majority of his voters couldn't get into school anymore.
Oh, that's so true. That's
he
messed
needed
up.
to, set the precedent that people need to have a skill set instead of education. So
yeah, he's trying to protect his own for sure. And that's what I was about to say. Speaking of Trump, which is a beautiful segue. Thank you, Jack, for interrupting me. No, I'm just playing. Anyway, moving on to the next subject, the next topic of the day. Okay, so obviously this past weekend was the 4th of July, and on the 3rd of July, Trump had a event in front of Mount Rushmore. Tommy Boy, speak on it.
Yeah, Trump had a giant, it was the 3rd of July spectacular at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. And he took the stage, and he was basically trying to appeal to, as the Associated Press puts it, disaffected white voters. But yeah, he hit on all the normal stuff. He said that far left liberals were going to try and take down all of the presidents on Mount Rushmore. That that liberals are trying to change the fabric of America. He lamented cancel culture. He said the political left hoped to defame our heroes, erase our values, and indoctrinate our children. He said, we will not be terrorized, we will not be demeaned, and we will not be intimidated by bad, evil people. That will not happen. So, your usual big tent, kumbaya 4th of July speech from a responsible president.
A pun intended there? Was the big
There's
tent
no pun
thing intended?
No. It's just Trump being an idiot.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, but he's clearly trying to draw this wedge between people now. He said Black Lives Matter is a hate group.
Yes.
He took to Twitter this morning to talk trash on Bubba Wallace. He's definitely drawing a wedge on this issue between Black Lives Matter. He's trying to make it an election year issue. He's clearly trying to divide people as much as humanly possible right now. And I think that was kind of the key point of his Mount Rushmore speech this last weekend, was trying to divide people along racial lines. In the hope that he can get reelected.
Yeah, it was. Now the thing is that okay. So the thing is that it's really interesting that he was doing that speech right there in front of Mount Rushmore. Now, there's obviously a lot of speculations, a lot of theories in regards to why he was doing it there of all places, not somewhere else. He could have done it in front of the White House. He could have done it anywhere on the 3rd of July. Now, of course, we already have talked about the sculptor who actually created Mount Rushmore. He had connections to the KKK. And there was obviously a lot of people have theories about what Trump's intent was in regards to having that event there in front of Mount Rushmore. A lot of people are saying that he was doing that in regards to his connections with the KKK as well. There's a lot of things, a lot of speculations about that. There have, Tanu Vane just asked something, which is I wanted to add into this. During the actual event, when they showed Trump's, Air Force One or the Trump plane, whatever you want to call it, flying into, landing near Mount Rushmore and all that, they were blocked. They were actually stopped by a protest, by protesters. And they had to find a way to get through just so that they can get Trump to the podium to speak. Now, what's funny is because Tanner Vane said any protesters against Trump there. Yes, there definitely was on the roads. I don't know if there was anything at the actual event, from my understanding, but there were people that were definitely protesters out there that were definitely trying to stop Trump from getting to the actual event. Yeah, which was really fascinating because, and here's the funny thing is, I was watching this on Fox News, and they put that information out there too. It was right there. They said protesters blocked off his motorcade, trying to stop him from getting into the event. Now, it's very interesting. But yes, there's a lot of talk about him trying to divide the country. A lot of things that he's saying now. I feel like there's a lot of people that are saying this. The news is saying this on multiple channels that are saying that he is basically kind of leaning hard on the race card right now. That he is literally trying to stoke fear and really riding on the racism thing. Now that he's calling the Black Lives Matter movement a terrorist group, is beyond me. He is literally leaning all the way in on this thing because I think he fears about his polls. He fears his numbers. He fears that he's pretty much everything's going down really bad for him. So he's just like, all right, let me just lean in on this all the way. I'm going to lean hard on the race card and just split everybody up. And hopefully I can win that way. Or he's just finally exposing his ass and saying, hey, these are my thoughts. F it. No, I'm not getting any. My polls are terrible. My numbers are bad. F it. Here's the real me. See? This is me. I don't care anymore. If I lose, I lose. At least I'm going to be me. I don't know. But the Mount Rushmore speech was very interesting, very divisive. And like I said, and like Tom just said, he is most definitely trying to split the country up for sure. Jack, what are your thoughts?
It's definitely it's pretty. I don't know. It's hard to think about. Like, I don't think there is a more concrete way to divide people. And for every speech that he gives, you expect some, like maybe this time, he'll say something that's going to unite everybody. Maybe on 4th of July, he'll come up with an amazing speech to be able to unite all of America and towards a common cause. But instead, he's a fearmonger. He went straight to try to bring more fear. And the problem is people are afraid of COVID right now, and he's acting like it's not around. And so he's really trying to strike up fear of minorities and change and anything that's outside of his ideology. But there's a lot of people that stand with him, and there's a lot of people that are switching sides because they're being forced to make a choice, and he's trying to make it very straightforward. Either you're with me or against me, and people that are with him, like he said, he could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and they'd stay with him. Mm-hmm. And so he just is sticking to his talking points. And if he repeats them over and over and over and over again, there's a base there that will never leave because that's what they hear and they think and they don't see anything else. So he united his people. That's all it did. He united his people. He went to a place that was sacred to indigenous people. He went against the CDC health guidelines. He set off fireworks in a drought-riven area. They already said there was fires that started from fireworks going off at different places. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's everyone they were so packed in at his event as well. They showed the chairs like literally side by side next to each other. Yeah, like full house packed event. type of thing with, kind of flaunting, social distancing, not being in effect. So I don't know. I don't have words for how a lot of politicians act.
Yeah.
And he just really is up there and just on his own world, doing his own thing.
Now,
so
yeah, he is definitely his own. He is definitely his own person. Tom,
I just want to go to the topic of Mount Rushmore for a minute here,
please.
That he chose to do it there. I mean, in the eyes of the Supreme Court and in the eyes of the Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868, that is Native American land. The 1868 treaty says that the guaranteed a permanent Great Sioux Reservation to the Sioux tribe, which included the Black Hills. Under this agreement, no treaty for the cession of any portion or part of the reservation can be sold or traded unless 75% of adult male Indians agree to the change. So in 1868, the U.S. government signed a treaty with Native Americans saying the Black Hills are yours, and unless 75% of adult males in your tribe agree to cede the land, it is yours for all time. Well, cut to 5 years later in 1873, a group of men from the Lakota tribe said that they wanted to cede the Black Hills in exchange for food from the U.S. government. But the group of men that ceded the land made up just 10% of the tribe. You remember in the treaty, it said you needed 75% of the male tribe members to sign off on ceding the land. They only got 10%. So in 1980, the U.S. Supreme Court said that the Black Hills that the 1868 treaty still applies because 75% of the male members of the tribe did not sign off on it. So, I mean, according to that treaty and according to the Supreme Court, Native Americans can do whatever they want with Mount Rushmore. I mean, it's their land. It was stolen from them. It was classic classic American treaty breaking,
Yeah. Trump has a long history of fighting with Native Americans because of his casinos.
Yeah.
So he's lost revenue, which he contends because of Native American casinos and because they don't pay taxes to the U.S. because they're on tribal land.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the only way that most of those tribes are able to have income. And he's has said that he wants them to be no longer around. And the people that showed up to this lawsuit back in 2016 that he had from, I guess, his New Jersey casino, he's like, oh, I think I have more Native American blood in me than they do, because he was saying that they look like white businessmen, and he's like, oh, they're just here trying to play off of the tribes. I don't know. It's again, he is a big divider.
Yeah.
And if he can, get revenge on people along the way, I feel like he takes every opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's his whole MO is screw them over and screw them over hard. I mean, that's his whole MO. I mean, if you didn't know, now you know. And the situation is very weird. And as much as somebody says, oh no, he was just wanting to do it in front of Mount Rushmore. No, there was a reason behind it. There was absolutely a reason behind all of it. And the fact that, yeah, he's the great divider. Literally, he is the great divider. You guys said it very, very well. I don't have anything to say about it because it's jacked up. All of it is super jacked up, Jack. Jacked up, Jack. It's just so messed up, man. I don't know how to say anything else on it, to be completely honest. But real quick, I do want to point something out that I found very interesting as well. Now, Mr. T12 just sent me some videos, which is something, one of them I already saw. A second one was very interesting to me, and I hate to do this left turn. I'm sorry, guys, but it is in regards to this great divide, and in regards to all that we're going through right now. It is, long story short, there are a lot of people that are coming together, and there's a lot of militia that is starting to pop up. Some on the far right and some on the far left. And this is very, very interesting. Now, there was militia in Stone Mountain, Georgia. This was them. This was a group of black militia, basically, getting together, banding together to, well, they were going to infiltrate the KKK headquarters. Now, I'm only going to show a little bit of this video because I just want to show the two opposing sides here. Like I said, there's two opposing sides to this, and it's very weird. It's very wild. Hold on one second, guys. Like I said, I'm going to do only a little bit of this video because there is some language involved in this as well. So here it is. This is the black militia. All right.
See, motherfucker.
This is right outside the headquarters for the KKK. These men and women are all together, planning on going in. Now, this is just one side. This is just one side. Now, this is a video. This is a video that I already saw. This is a perspective that I already saw. I did not see this other one that Mr. T12 just sent over, which I found very fascinating as well. Now, this is let's just say the right side of the spectrum coming together, trying to stop a. If I'm correct, this is a man in a BLM shirt being stopped by a white supremacist militia at Gettysburg. So we're gonna show this quick video. It's gonna be very, very quick. All right. Wow. And it's sideways, so roll with me, guys.
America fighting back. Okay, I'm not American? I'm not saying you're not, but I'll tell you, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, they are anti-American. I'm a real American. I know what real American is.
Are black people not American?
I never said that. Most black people have nothing to do with Black Lives Matter.
That's not true.
That's not true. That's not true, and I'm not saying
What's
that.
not true? That black people are American or that black people aren't in Black Lives Matter?
I said a lot of black people don't support Black Lives Matter.
Like who?
A lot of people I've known.
Oh, people you know.
Black Lives.
Have you talked to black people about it?
Now, personally, I'm seeing in this particular video, I don't really see a lot of people armed in this video. I just see a group of people basically just with their phones out, of course, going against this particular man who's wearing a BLM t-shirt. But of course, as we were saying before, the world is getting extremely divided. You know, it's oh, here we go. There we go. There we are. Let's get that there. That's a little bit better. So there are men that are still rocking their AR-15s, rocking their respective weapons.
If you're going to cause a disturbance, I can recommend to you that you de-escalate this a little bit because
5-0.
obviously you're upsetting some people, and I would tell them the same exact thing if they were doing it to you. So if you may want to de-escalate, okay, we have a good law enforcement presence here, and we can defend you, and we can defend them, all right?
Fair
but
enough.
There should not be a reason that we have to defend each other.
Okay. So I see what he's saying there. You know, he's got a good point there for sure. But anyway, so there's a lot of, obviously, as we have been seeing over this past weekend, there's a lot of divide. There's obviously two different sides to every story. There's some people that are out there trying to, step up. There's extreme leftists that are out there that are getting militant, that are banding together, like we just saw in the first video. And then, of course, there's the other side as well. And we've seen the other side on multiple occasions rocking their AR-15s and just getting ready. Just because they are protesting either because they're angry about not being able to open up their cities, they want to get back to work, et cetera, et cetera. But then you also got people out here that are rocking their AR-15s in fear of what's going on with the BLM movement as well. This is a very real thing. I mean, people are getting together, and a lot of people aren't willing to take it anymore. Fellas, what do you guys think?
I mean, I'm.
Go ahead, Jack.
I'm always surprised at people that just want to walk around with open carry and stuff. I don't really understand, why. Like, why? If you don't have the intent on using it, like, while you're out and about, and are you thinking that you really need it with you all the time, like, for every instance? I'm not a gun owner, so I don't have that understanding. I don't know.
Tom.
But, having the cops out there and defending both sides, trying to de-escalate, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat as Jack. I don't have any guns. I don't. It's you'll probably. I can't imagine this. If you ever do see me walking around with a gun outside, something has gone catastrophically wrong. Like, if you see me doing that, something's gone very wrong. I don't get it. I mean, Stone Mountain is obviously a terrible place. It's the home of the Confederate Memorial that honors Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, Jefferson Davis. The sculpture was designed by a Klan member. It's an ugly place with a long history of racism in the country, and I can see where people would want to make a show of force there. But again, I think going back to our previous story, it'd be nice if we had a president that could maybe just try one time to unite people rather than divide people, to try and bring some peace and civility back to the way we interact. And he has no intention of doing that. He was elected because he's divisive and hateful. And now the country has kind of reflected that. The country's divided and hateful. And he's just going to keep trying to, break that wound open as far as he can.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about Americans. He doesn't care about people. He cares about winning. And he's just trying to divide and stoke anger and hatred. And this is the Trump presidency. This is what everyone feared would happen.
Yeah.
Here we are. This is what you get when you put a divisive, hateful man in the most powerful position in the country. You get a divided, hateful country.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Very, very true. Very, very true. I think, the world is very different. The world is very interesting right now. And I wish everyone would I just wish everybody would calm the hell down, to be really honest. Everything is really intense. Understandably, there's the other side of the situation too, which is there is no time to relax. We've been relaxing all this time. So that's why that's why there is unrest right now, because people are tired of sitting around and they don't want to they just will not take it anymore. So I get that side of things. And yes, there is a need for things to change. I just wish things didn't have to go into such a violent direction. I know that a lot of people are sitting there going, oh, wait for it. The race war is coming. God, I hope not. I hope it doesn't happen that way.
Every person I've ever heard talk about the upcoming race war is always someone who seems to really want that to happen. I never hear that from people that are like, progressive thinking people that are like, hey, all races are that. The people that I always hear talk about the impending race war are racists.
Yeah.
And you can see them start to salivate when they start talking about it. It's a fantasy they have.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of racists out there that would love a race war where they could go and wipe out all the black people.
Yeah. I like I was just saying, I really don't. I really would like to see things kind of come to a place where we can actually sit. Instead of it being throwing out the guns, everyone and their mama going to the gun store, getting their guns and their bullets, that maybe we could all, at some point, find a moment to sit down. Now, I'll say this, though. It all depends on what happens in the next few months. If we do have Trump in office and he runs and he does what he does, who's to say that this race war won't happen? I mean, it seems like it will start teetering or start leaning towards that area. Because if nothing changes, people will talk. And it really comes down to who we end up voting in. Whether we bring in the racist for a second term or we bring in the senile Biden. It really depends on who we end up voting in. And I'll tell you this. I'm going to be really worried. I'm going to be really worried if Trump gets reelected. And I'm going to be really worried if Trump doesn't get reelected. Just the day of when the moment they say whoever is going to be the president in 2020. I'm worried.
It's a tipping point.
Definitely a tipping point.
Oh, it's just.
Oh, and here it is. And somebody just said this, Chris LaRose, YouTube. Thank you so much for commenting. He said if Trump loses, he will not go peacefully, and that's the truth.
Right.
And that's why I'm scared. I'm worried about. He won't go peacefully. Forget all that. Yes, he won't go peacefully. That's a guaranteed fact. What about all the people that support him?
Yep.
They're not going to be down for that news either. They're not going to let that go peacefully either. So that could spark something interesting as well. It could be violent. But then if he does get voted in for a second term, ish could hit the fan too, my brothers and sisters. This could be a violent outcome on either side. Neither side is going to be happy about the win or lose verdict. Scary, man.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I mean, hopefully that we can find some common ground with whoever's in the office, but if Trump is reelected, I mean, he is going to cement in more judges, more Supreme Court justices. There will be like the amount of time how we'll get back to middle ground is unknown because everything is so swayed one way.
Yeah.
With not lifelong positions, but people that are in a position for a really long time.
Yeah.
And the ideology is sticking around no matter who is elected. Like that has already been ingrained in the system.
Yep.
It's a scary thought, man. It's woo! We're gonna definitely see what happens
Happy
here.
Monday.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's a mind screw for real. It's definitely a mind screw. But anyway, comment down below. Let us know what you think. We got to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about Vanessa Guillen and the mysterious case of, well, the mysterious case of Vanessa Guillen. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Hey, take off Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs.
Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their seconds and nothing unique. All of us under surveillance. We was a feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly tainted.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. I mean, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Pascal Show. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like button down below. And if it's your first time checking out this show, crush that subscribe button. But we got to jump into this one really quick. We only have a few more minutes left. We got to talk about this curious case of Vanessa Guillen. If you don't know about this woman, she was enlisted in the Army. And, well, I'm going to let Tom take the rest of the story. Tommy boy, speak on it.
Yeah, Army investigators, they identified the body of a soldier who vanished more than 2 months ago from a base from Fort Hood in Texas. She'd been missing for 2 months. Her family had suspected that it might have been a man that she had reported to her family had been sexually harassing her, a fellow soldier, Aaron Robinson, who's now the lead suspect in the case. Vanessa Guillen went missing 2 months ago, but they just found her body, and it definitely, she had been murdered and dismembered. Man, Aaron Robinson has been, he committed suicide. His don't know. I guess a friend of his, this Cecily Aguilar, helped him dispose of the body. Apparently, they dismembered the body in doing so. But they have found the body, so hopefully, I mean, obviously, Aaron Robinson has killed himself, but Cecily Aguilar, hopefully, she can be prosecuted and they get some semblance of justice out of this.
What?
Very, very sad case.
Right. It's a terrible, terrible story. It's a terrible thing. And what's crazy is that it hasn't really been in the forefront of the news at all, which I found very, very interesting as well. There have been demonstrations and protests in regards to finding justice for Vanessa Guillen. And this whole story is really, really messed up. It almost makes me think of the movie The General's Daughter. I don't know why, but it gives me that certain vibe where there's just sexual misconduct within the armed forces, and how the armed forces, or how like the army tries to protect their own and cover the truth. Now that you have one of the suspects that was suspected to be involved in the murder of Vanessa Guillen, in a result of him taking his own life, it is a really crazy turn of events that have been going on right now, which make things point towards there's a whole lot of foul play that obviously has been going on. There's another suspect that has been arrested. She has been detained. Another suspect in regards to the murder of Vanessa. And I guess it's still a developing story, but like I said before, is that what I find very strange is that no one's talking about this. I mean, they're talking about it, but it's not like mainstream media has not even tapped in on this story at all. It's mostly local news, but they're just this story is kind of passing over in a really weird way, and I don't know why that's happening. Go ahead, Jack.
I think that it's because when he got confronted, like, he shot and killed himself. So like the accuser killed himself. So like, is there much, like, the remains weren't found yet, but he was already dead. So like, maybe there wasn't as much attention to it because I guess a justice has already been served to him by himself. And now they found an accomplice and they found the body, and so at least the family can have some closure.
If it's not, but here's the thing. I don't mean to interrupt you, Jack. But if it's only closure if he was to say, yes, I did it. You see what I'm saying? Now, of course, they found the body, which is good news. I mean, it's terrible news that they found the body. You see what I'm saying? But the fact that they found the body, yes, they can get some answers. I'm sure they can find or get some things, some closure in a way. But at the same time, it's not like he said, I did it and then killed himself. There's still a lot of questions just lingering. Now, from my understanding, there was only 2 people that they were going for, but apparently this was more than just those 2 people that were involved. I mean, of course, within speculation here, there is theory that, and hearsay, that there was more than just those 2 suspects that were involved in not only the sexual harassment of Vanessa Guillen, but also in the murder and the events that took place around her disappearance and all. So there is no closure. That's why there is demonstrations and all that, because her family and the people that know about this story want justice for her. They want questions answered. They don't have anything right now. All they know right now is that the barbaric things that have happened to her, it's like I said, there is no way of them finding peace when there are no answers that have been, there are no questions that have been answered.
So hold on, this came out of the United States Attorney's Office, Western District of Texas, on Thursday of last week. And it says the criminal complaint charges Aguilar with 1 count of conspiracy to tamper with evidence According to the complaint, 20-year-old U.S. Army Specialist Aaron Robinson told Aguilar that he killed a female soldier by striking her in the head with a hammer while on Fort Hood on April 22, 2020. Robinson further admitted to Aguilar that he had transferred the woman's body off of Fort Hood to a remote site in Bell County. Subsequently, Robinson enlisted the help of Aguilar in disposing of the dead female's body. The complaint further alleges that at a later time, Aguilar recognized the deceased, whom he helped Robinson mutilate and dispose of, as Vanessa Guillen. The remains found in Bell County have yet to be formally identified by authorities. The complaint further states that earlier this week, Robinson shot and killed himself when confronted by the police. And so it sounds like there was a confession, maybe not directly to them, but and then Aguilar is saying that he confessed to it, and then when they went to confront him, he killed himself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the
corrected.
family is frustrated because they feel there's a culture inside the Army and certainly at Fort Hood of sexual harassment. Vanessa had complained to her, I believe, mother that she was being sexually harassed. She mentioned that friends of her had been sexually harassed at Fort Hood and had their complaints dismissed. I don't believe Vanessa had filed a formal complaint. I think she was fearing retaliation, and maybe rightfully so now knowing what we know. But I think she had feared retaliation, so she didn't make a formal complaint, but she had complained to her family and friends, I guess, that she was being sexually harassed. So I think the family felt that this was being covered up to try and cover up the trend of people being sexually assaulted at Fort Hood and in the Army, that they were trying to sweep that under the rug. But yeah, just a very, very sad story.
It most definitely is. Now, I stand corrected. Jack, thank you so much for that added information, because I didn't know that part, that there was a confession. But that's good that the case, I guess, or that's good that there was a confession. It's just terrible that she could not find a safe place to say what she needed to say, to speak her truth. And that's the problem with things that are going on in the military, in the armed forces. We hear countless times about women who are sexually assaulted, sexually harassed by their own brothers, and it's a terrible thing. And there are women out there that are in the Army. Or that are part of the military that have said there has been some very, very colorful and really messed up tweets that have been sent out in regards to all the events that are surrounding Vanessa Guillen's death, and all that. And what's crazy is that some of them are sitting there going, she shouldn't have cried about it. That's just a rite of passage. I mean, that's what some people are saying. Some female officers, soldiers are saying, and that's crazy to me that they would say, that's just a whiny snowflake. That's just a rite of passage. And it shouldn't be. That's not how it should be at all. Yet we're hearing these stories countless and countless times over and over again about women that are being sexually assaulted while they are in the line of duty. That doesn't make any sense. That's not right. And that shouldn't be part of their, let's just say, hazing period or something of that sort. It should never be like that. So it's such a sad thing that that's how this has happened, how this is going down for how these events unfolded for Vanessa Guillen. It's such a terrible story, But this is something that we need to. That's something that the armed forces need to look into, and not take lightly. Anyway, what were you going to say, Tom?
Oh, I was just agreeing with you. I could not have said it better myself.
Yeah, it's a terrible story, and I hope she finds peace. such a barbaric way of. That's such a barbaric way of dying. Such a barbaric way, and then you see moments like that, and there's other women out here that have been assaulted, have been sexually harassed, that want to be able to turn to their higher ups and speak the truth, find justice. But then you see something like that, a barbaric act like that. I'm not surprised if a lot of them turned back around and went back into hiding because of fear. How easily that was being swept under the rug, as Tom said earlier. It's terrible. That's not how it should be done. It's not how it should be done. Actually, Tom, sorry, not Tom. Mr. T12 just asked something, which is very true. A good point. Who was their commanding officer? Why does it take months to hit the news? And that's a very good question. That's a very, very good question. I could not personally answer that for you. I don't know why it took months. There's no reason it should have taken months. And she was missing. If I'm correct, she was missing for 2 months straight as well.
Yep.
They were looking for her for 2 months.
I think initially, Army investigators had said they had found no evidence of foul play in her disappearance initially. But yeah, it seems like this. Obviously, the family is very, very upset with the Army and with Fort Hood. Sounds like they probably could have handled this case a lot better than they did. Maybe been a little more transparent about it. But
yeah,
I don't know. Obviously, with ongoing investigations, there are always issues with transparency. But family in this situation seems that the Army and Fort Hood definitely failed them here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's hard to argue with that. And their daughter's dead.
Yeah.
And it was a fellow soldier that did it. So yeah,
What month did this happen?
Very, very sad. This happened in, was it April, I think?
And then by June, because I did see a thing where the attorney for the family said that she did submit a complaint to the Army and gave Robinson's name. So there was a formal complaint that was submitted, but they said that,
I think the Army said that they did not have one. I think she might have. I think in her conversations with her mom, it sounded like her mom wanted her to go and file a complaint, and she was, afraid that she'd be retaliated against. I don't believe the Army has any formal record of her filing a complaint against her. She might have said she was going to do it because I think her mom was really pushing her to do it. So she might have said, "Oh, I did it." But
maybe she did do it. And then the person that she gave it to was the wrong person to give it to.
That's very likely too.
Yeah,
could very well be.
Yeah, it's a unfortunate situation for sure. Man. Whew. Okay, left turn. We've got to take a left turn real quick. Well, it's kind of a left turn. I'm just going to go with it. Guillen Maxwell, it looks like, of course, she was just arrested just this past week. She is the former friend, associate / girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein. She was arrested last week in regards to the child trafficking, the sex trafficking that was going on that island that she and Jeffrey Epstein would frequent to. So Guillen Maxwell, it looks like, will be pleading guilty and will start cooperating soon. And that's what apparently a former prosecutor is predicting. Now, when you say cooperating, she means she about to drop some names. She about to make that tongue wiggle. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested to see, because apparently she's going to drop so many names. Because of course, she's getting charged with a couple different counts. Now, like I said, my only thing is she's saying that she's willing to cooperate, that she's going to drop some names, she's going to expose some people, as Trump would say, drain the swamp, right? So it looks like she's going to be doing that exact thing. Now, there's a laundry list of people on this list, famous people, politicians, et cetera, that she's going to drop. Now, my only concern is, let me be completely honest. I'm excited for her to drop the names, but I'm wondering if she's going to be able to have enough time to drop the names, because I think that something bad's going to happen to her before she does. Those are my thoughts. I hope not too, but that's just my thoughts. Jeffrey Epstein apparently was going to drop some names, and then, oops, he killed himself. So they better have working security cameras at all times. Every single security guard that's watching Guillen better be hopped up on Red Bull and coffee and copious amounts of Monster. Because I'm just saying, she's the only person with this information that we know of course.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully she gets what is coming to her.
I hope so too.
Maxwell was among Epstein's closest associates and helped him exploit girls who were as young as 14 years old.
Wow.
Maxwell played a critical role in helping Epstein to identify, befriend, and groom minor victims for abuse. In some cases, Maxwell participated in the abuse herself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. If you have not seen, sorry, Tom, real quick. If you have not seen the documentary, the docu-series on Netflix, I would definitely look at it and check it out for yourselves. There's a lot of women that tell their very detailed accounts of being sexually assaulted by both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The other thing is that Maxwell is looking up to a minimum of 10 years, a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years, or up to a life sentence maximum. So I know for a fact she is probably trying to do everything she can so that she can get that 10-year minimum. This is insane, and I cannot wait for her to drop some names. They have photos with all types of celebrities and politicians. So God knows who's a culprit, who's a monster, and who's not. You know?
Yeah,
I still worry that she's gonna.
Go ahead, Tom.
I still worry she's gonna pull punches, though. I still feel like she's not gonna be totally forthcoming, even if she is staring down the barrel of life in prison. I think, this all would have been a totally different thing. Obviously, if Epstein were still alive, you could play them against each other if you were a prosecutor. I just don't know how, if there's one person left, that's the only person left that theoretically knows the full story. I just don't know how much incentive she really has to fully cooperate and not pull punches and not say, not just happen to forget that, somebody rich and powerful connected, was a client of theirs. I'm excited to see names, but no matter what names I see, I'm always going to assume there were more and that she's pulling punches, because she hasn't been at all forthcoming up until now.
Yeah.
It
looks at least like Prince Andrew might be pulled back in to the conversation. Right. They're asking him to come and give, his statement. So the U.S. attorney in Manhattan said the U.S. prosecutors would welcome Prince Andrew coming in to talk with us.
Of course.
I'm sure they would.
Of course. I mean,
he's like, yeah, I'm not leaving.
Dude has been, like I said, there's photos. See, that's the thing though. There's photos with like Michael Bolton, Trump, the Clintons. I mean, there's a speculation of Kevin Spacey being involved with these things as well. I mean, but the thing is that there's a lot of photos that they took with celebrities. Doesn't mean that all those celebrities were doing something bad. They were just standing next to him taking a photo. But at the same time, though, there's a lot of speculation from Will Smith all the way down to, like I just said, Kevin Spacey, Michael Bolton. I mean, there's a lot of speculations out here talking about how they were part of these orgies, you know, part of these things on, as they would call it, Orgy Island. So I'm interested to see what happens in the upcoming days, and hopefully they keep hard, like hopefully they look hard at what's really going on, and keep an eye on her. Like, real talk. Because we need to know the truth. We need to know what's going down. For sure. Anyway, that about wraps it up today, guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Tom and Jack, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation, part of the show today, as always. You know what I'm saying? You know, I appreciate it. You know, and of course, everybody who's tuning in, thank you. Like I said, always tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here live. I will be on later on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about all the developing stuff that's going on that we may have missed during the morning show, or that continues to develop later on today. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to be on that as well. Yeah, man, we're going to get this thing moving. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that like button underneath this feed. And we got to get things popping. Anyway, thank you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Homeowners.
Hey, take off Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs.
Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their suckers. They're not so unique. All of us under surveillance. We was a feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling abroad and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. I mean, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.